To start my foundation off, I'm going to go in with Angel Veil as my primer. And I'm going to be using Clear Start as my moisturizer. It's mattifying, yet it still gives your skin moisture and it won't have you looking too liney and stuff like that. But I really like this moisturizer. I couldn't find it in my room for a while and I found it. I was really happy. I think I used a little bit too much. If Pandora asks me, am I listening one more time, there's going to be problems. So next up, I'm going to let this sit on my face for a few seconds until it absorbs. I can hear that this is separated. A lot of times with primers, you have to shake it up. You can kind of hear the water separate from the actual product. So I'm just shaking it up. I gotta remember to sit properly in my video. I was like, so yeah, I absolutely love Angel Veil. It really, really just goes in and smooths out any lines, wrinkles, any pores. It really, you're gonna see the difference like automatically. And I kind of like to go back and forth with it a little bit because it'll really kind of sit on your face a little bit better rather than just going in one direction. Like some people like to kind of go like back and forth like an S or an 8. But yeah. Oh my god, so yes, it's happening. My makeup class, May 7th, North Hollywood. I'm working on the promo gear. I'm going to have everything out very soon. I'm like so excited. I can't believe it. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with Makeup Forever and do my foundation today. I barely ever use Makeup Forever anymore. And I'm definitely gonna pull out a Scylla sponge because I love this foundation and I can't bear to use it with just a regular sponge anymore. So this is like the traditional shape. I'm just gonna go in. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, yes. I was laying in the sun today in the front of my building and this lady came out and looked at me like, bitch, are you tanning? She looked so confused. I was like, oh, bless her heart. Oh my god. She looked at me like, are you tanning? Yes, honey, it's tanning. Tanning for this 180. Look at how beautiful that lays on your skin. Now, this foundation is pure perfection, so you don't really have to do the most to it. And then the primer underneath is bomb as fuck. But, so this, it blends in so easy. It blends your makeup so beautifully, just everywhere. And you can use so much less. I hate seeing my beautiful foundation. Like, I will never use a sponge. I'm not going to say never. I generally try not to use a sponge as my first. I try not to use a sponge first because this foundation is like what, $50 a bottle, and it's beautiful. So it's like with some foundations, with more inexpensive foundations or foundations I don't really care that much about, I'll quick throw a sponge to it, no problem. But when it comes to Makeup Forever, Lancome, and now Bobbi Brown, you're gonna get a makeup slick, and then I'm gonna go over my foundation with a sponge to blend it in and blend it out. Kidding me? And then what I like to do, and I've been seeing everybody do reviews on it, and I personally think when I pick this up, it feels like common sense how you use it. But I've been seeing it used in awkward ways, like people like almost like don't want you to like it, and don't want it to work properly. When you want more coverage, you go in and tap. You can slide it, you know, creamier foundations, concealers, you go in and tap. Like, it seems like common sense to me as a makeup artist, but I've seen some straight up fail videos with it, and I'm like, are you guys mad at the company? You guys don't want it to work. Okay, so usually after I do my face makeup, I'll do concealer or color corrector. Sometimes I don't have to do color correction depending on the color of the foundation I'm using. So some of my favorite color correctors, especially for dark skin, I have to go in and I have to mention the LA Girl Pro Concealer, and this is their more orange tone, and I think that this works better with darker skin because it's more pigmented and it has a full amount of red and yellow, and that's basically what it takes to make the color brown, and that's also basically what it takes to kind of eliminate the brown or blue tones in a bruise, blemish, or hyperpigmentation. If you guys need to see a full review or a video tutorial on me using LA Girl, I will have more links in the bottom bar. From LA Girl, I will also have to include NYX. I have to include NYX because this is almost a perfect dupe of several palettes just like this. Makeup Forever has one, MAC has one, and now Maybelline also has one, which I absolutely love, from the drugstore. If you need to see video reviews on either of these products, I will have these listed below. The thing that I love about this one in particular is not only does it have color correction, highlight, and contour, but they're all really creamy and they really give you that thick, pigmented feel. If you guys remember, I used my Smashbox color corrector in my Bobbi Brown tutorial and I was saying how the texture was a little bit waxy. I would say that this lends itself more to the texture of Smashbox, and this one lends itself more to the texture of MAC. Very thick, very pigmented. Also NYX, the Gotcha Covered Hydro Fudge. I think that's our Hydro Fuge. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be Fuge, which I recognize that as a word, or if it's supposed to be Fudge because it's super thick. But NYX makes a really, really great tube concealer that goes really, really well. This is a super old palette from MAC. This is one of the first palettes that I ever used to do a color correcting video here on YouTube. This thing has been through it all with me. This one, and I would say I have a throwback Makeup Forever palette that probably looks like death. This has got to be one of the first and still one of the best oranges, simply because it doesn't give you Halloween bright orange too warm. It kind of has like just like a salmon smoky orange. It's deep enough for dark skin, yet I've seen everybody use this color orange corrector, so it's really interesting. And I have to go back and maybe say a retraction because it's not as waxy as a Smashbox, but I would say it's more similar in texture. The orange in this one is also the business. The business. I'm a big fan. It doesn't lose pigmentation when you blend it out, and it also gives you a beautiful peach here. So just in case you have something that's not as deeply pigmented, you can go in and kind of incorporate that peach to kind of bring that orange down a little bit. Okay, so two of my newer palettes that I absolutely love that are super underutilized here on my channel are from Makeup Forever. I'm in love with Makeup Forever's dark tones. They are not afraid to get dark, and I love that. I think they even have a color deeper than this. A big fan of both of these palettes right here. This one, absolutely love this as a contour color. It's very deep, it's cool. A lot of times you'll get deep colors that are a little bit too cool. They're like red. This one is absolutely beautiful. This one I would say is more toward my skin tone, so it's a great skin tone concealer. And I've never used the orange in this palette because the orange in this palette has a huge dent. I will definitely say that this is probably one of the deepest oranges that I have. So if you're like on the deeper end, more blue tone dark skin, like deeper than me, this is one of the deepest oranges. And I think that it is one of the best colors to use in the muzzle area for really dark skin, because a lot of times people don't color correct that area because it's not a spot, because it is more of a mask. Sometimes I think people just figure like, okay, let me just throw foundation over it, extra foundation, then extra concealer, and then as the day goes on, you get ashy. So speaking to that fact, when you have all over discoloration, I will definitely also recommend a series of color correcting primers, because sometimes that can be easier and it can be less time consuming. So for today, I'm going to use a new color corrector simply because I've never used this. Oh, wow, this is the deep. Okay, so I've always had this sitting. I love these concealers. I have a few of the concealers. I use the skin tone colors. I've never used this one. I've never seen the color. This is color R52. This is so deep and so beautiful. I'm going to rub that on my hand so I can use that as a contour perhaps. That's gorgeous. Okay, so I did want to go in and use Makeup Forever because Makeup Forever is fail proof. Like, I've never met a product from Makeup Forever that I didn't like. I have products that aren't my skin tone. I have products that I don't care for that particular type of product. Like, I'm not a huge brow product junkie. So we're going to go in today and use this palette. I'm going to show you quickly how I color correct. Alright guys, so I'm going to quickly go in with a little bit of that orange on my silicone puff, and I'm going to blend away this darkness. Now, I think the thing with color correcting is a lot of times I think people go in with a little bit too much product and it leaves an actual orange cast on their skin. I think sometimes some people may be using the wrong color orange corrector. I'm not saying it can't leave an orange cast on your skin. I'm saying that true to its intention, it's supposed to color correct it. You're not really supposed to see it anymore. You see how there's darkness here and there's none here? Well, that part of my under eye was missing pigmentation. Not even technically missing the pigmentation, but the tones that are in the rest of my skin weren't in this area. So the orange color goes in and corrects it. So now I'm gonna go in and spot color correct this little dark area on my cheek. And I'm gonna go in with my silicone sponge. Blend it out. And it takes the pigmentation right out of it. There doesn't need to be a now huge orange spot on your face. I don't know. So now I'm going in and I'm using a fluffy brush because I feel as though this helps to blend it in and blend it out. If you feel like you're going to move your foundation, go in and dab. Apply it to where you need. And then I like to go in and blend it out and blend it in. It should take the form now of perfectly corrected skin. It should be just there. I really feel like if you get a good color corrector and you blend it in, it will change your world. You know, you shouldn't, your concealer shouldn't be affected by the color of your color corrector. Your concealer shouldn't now be yellow. Sometimes you need to use something that has a finish. That's why I love the LA Girl color corrector, because it comes to a finish. So it comes to like a matte finish. So then when I put concealer on top of it, they don't intermingle. Sometimes people do concealer, set their foundation, do color corrector, set that and put foundation on top. It's not always necessary unless you're going to be working like an 18-hour shift and you're going to be sweating. So if you're a stripper or you are a waitress in a really hot area, you don't really need to fix and change the texture of your makeup that many times. I mean, in my opinion, maybe for like a wedding photo shoot or something like that, but I'm just going in and blending it out. The silicone sponge is perfect for this because it's not taking away any product. It's blending it in, and then whatever becomes on the sponge, I can then relocate. So I love it. And just blend it out. Now you will notice with oranges, there are warm oranges and then there are cool oranges. This is more of a cool orange. You can see a little bit more red in my skin than was there before. That's the color that my blemishes were missing. A warmer orange does work a little bit better on me. You might prefer that on my skin tone not to see as much of the red in the center of my face. So the NYX is a warm orange. And then this is a cool orange, more toward red, and this is more toward yellow. So sometimes if you're color correcting and you feel like, oh, this is not looking right, that could be the issue. Know whether you're warm or cool, and know when you go out to get things accordingly. Okay, so to further color correct, I'm gonna go in around my mouth area a little bit on the bottom. Let's go in with a little bit of the Pro concealer because it has a finish, and you'll be able to see the difference. So right now I'm just going around the perimeter of my mouth, around my lips. This is actually a really good color corrector for your mouth area. Not that you need to color correct the color of your lips, but sometimes if you're trying to wear a lighter tone and you have darker lips, they can come together and you won't really get the result you're looking for. I would just say, namely, you can get more pigmented lipstick. You can get a more pigmented lipstick, or you can color correct. Right now I'm just gonna go in and bounce the sponge all over my face. I'm gonna use this to blend in further. I'm gonna use this to kind of pick up any excess product, and it really helps to blend out. Okay, so I quickly wanted to mention that one thing I also want you to look for when purchasing color correction palettes. This is the same thing with the NYX as well as the MAC and the Makeup Forever palettes like this. It's really good if they have a yellow, because sometimes you will get an orange that is a little bit too cool for you. You can mix these together and kind of create your own tone color corrector. So if you are going to purchase a palette, do look for one with a yellow. The yellow is definitely something that can separate you having a really good experience to having a fail, you know? So sometimes going in, and don't be afraid to customize stuff. I know you're thinking, no, I don't spend all this money. It needs to work right now the way it's supposed to. I don't want to mix nothing. You are fearfully created. You are amazing. A lot of companies cannot bottle your skin tone. I've come to accept that, and I'm flattered that a lot of companies, you can't create this. Only God can do this. Only God. So sometimes you have to customize stuff, okay? Now I'm gonna go in and do my concealer. If you guys don't know, I'm also filming live on Facebook. So if you guys want to follow me on Facebook and watch these videos live, kind of get the behind the scenes kind of feel, I will have the link in the bottom bar. And do my concealer. Now, I get so many questions about concealer. What color should I use? Should it be lighter than my skin? Should it be the same color as my skin? Should I do it first? Second? Do I need concealer? Can I just wear concealer? So let's break this down. There's a difference between concealing and then highlight concealing. And basically, I highlight conceal. The reason I highlight conceal in the center of my face